Hello, how are you? It's Jeannie. It's good to see you, and welcome to my channel. Today, this video is going to be all about reading you a couple of things that I found as I began clearing out some papers and notebooks and things like that. This notebook I found was actually from 2019, so about 5 years ago almost. And I was just about ready to rip out some of the pages, and I started reading through it. And I thought, wow, this is some good stuff, and I'd like to share it with you. Now, as always, you can just listen to my voice go blah, 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 and drone on a bit, and just put it on in the background and relax. Or you can actually listen to the content and perhaps get something out of it. I know as I reread this, I got some things out of it as well. Either way, I hope you can kick back and relax. And I want to thank today's sponsor, Pillow. This Pillow app that I have been using has been awesome. Now, I've been using the premium subscription, and it helps me to analyze my sleep. There is a questionnaire that I fill out in the beginning, and then it helps remind me when my bedtime is, because I am wearing my watch when I go to bed. I can analyze my heart rate. I can analyze my REM sleep when I'm in and out of light sleep. And I actually didn't realize how poor of quality sleep I'd been getting lately. And it's nice to understand that so that I can consciously think about getting a better night's sleep. Oh, and here's something else. It records any noises you make, any talking in your sleep, any other sounds you make in your sleep. There are personalized insights and tips that you can use to sleep better, and you get insight into how you are sleeping, and that is so interesting. I was very glad to learn I don't snore. I never thought I did, and this app proves it. But what I understand more fully is how I was sleeping and how I was not sleeping deeply. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you because I find it so fascinating. For new subscribers, use my code Jeannie20 to get 20% off Pillow Premium and start your free 7-day trial by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code. Thank you again to the folks at Pillow for sponsoring this video and offering us something really insightful with regard to how well we're sleeping or not. So as I said, I've been clearing away some notebooks and other papers, trying to lighten up before the new year, so that I come into the new year ready to organize, ready to make new files, and just get rid of some of the clutter that I tend to hold on to in terms of paper and office things. So I found this notebook, like I said, and it was from a seminar that I had attended, an online seminar. And the name of the seminar apparently was called World Famous. We've had a wine brand, and so perhaps I was doing that in conjunction with our wine label. That seems to make the most sense. And anyway, I wanted to read you some of the things that I wrote down, and maybe you can apply these to your life. Maybe you can apply them to just your day or just a particular moment. So I'm going to light this candle. I don't know if you can tell, but my room is very dark in here. So I need a little extra light to see. The camera is very good at compensating, but I'm going to light a candle for a little extra light, a little extra ambiance, and second try. For those of you who know, I've been match challenged. That puts off a really pretty warm glow, don't you think? And I think I look really good in candlelight. So, I think I can see this, but I still need my glasses. Let me get these. And there's not a lot of reflection from my big lights. Okay. This was a seminar I took in April of 2019. The first thing I wrote down was, dare to be different. Dare to be different. In a world, particularly with social media, where so many try to fit in, and I'm going to kind of stereotype the younger generation. I think there's a lot of pressure to fit in. I know I felt it back in the 70s when I was in high school. You want to fit in. You don't think you should stand out because you might be ridiculed. And so, as we get older, and if you're younger listening to this, I really want you to hear me. As we get older, we learn it's okay to be different. We don't have to fit in. We don't have to be a particular size, do our hair a particular way. We don't have to dress a particular way. So it's okay to be different. Number 2, discover the power of a super niche. Now, with regard to a business, I think that's very important. But also your life. What is it you do well? What is it you want to do? And how can you develop your niche or super niche? When I started this channel, I don't know that I really understood fully the power of my voice, the power of my blah, 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 and the reach it would have. And I'm going to say particularly because of my age. Something divine guided me. And I think I've developed a niche as an older woman sitting here talking to you, dispensing advice or feel-good things. And I...
4:03 p.m.
Oh, I pressed my watch. Shut up. And I'm very grateful for discovering what I've discovered about myself. And I never saw myself doing this, but I've developed my niche along with some other women in this category and in my age group. And I'm really, really grateful for this platform. Okay. Number 3. Okay, now remember, this is all about business, but what we want to do is transfer it to each of our personal lives. Number 3, define differentiation. Find 3 essential words that encapsulate your brand identity. Well, if we're not talking about business, what are 3 words that encapsulate you and what you do, what you're good at, what you can specialize in? And if you don't know, explore that idea. 3 words that encapsulate you and what you do or what you want to do. I have engage. Engaging with people. There are days I don't want to engage with anyone. I have those days. I have a lot of them. I've learned how to be an extrovert in my life. But I think naturally I'm an introvert. I can show up at a party and have a great time, and you'd never think that I was introverted because I've learned how to communicate, how to make other people feel at ease. And that's a skill, I'm going to tell you that. Making someone else feel at ease, asking questions of them. And I'll tell you something, if you're in a group of people, in a room with people that you don't know, and you don't know what to talk about, ask questions of someone or a couple. How did you two meet? Tell me about the first date you went on. How did you find this job? What were your impressions of this or that? People love talking about themselves. We are our own favorite topic. We are. We know our story the best. And so when someone is asking us questions, engaging with us, and pulling out our story, we naturally like them. And if they don't want to answer a question, you'll pick that up and learn how to pivot and move to a different question, keeping it light, and not too personal, but just topical. But that is a really good lesson that I learned probably in the early 80s. And I remember being at a wedding, in a group, at a table, and I didn't know anybody. And I just started asking questions of people. So how do you know the bride? How do you know the groom? That's easy. Do you know each other? And so on and so on. finding questions to ask of people. They love telling you. They really do. And I've used that. I've used that skill a lot in my life. And I'm going to tell you something else about that. It can take the spotlight off of you if you wish. It can take the attention away from you if you don't want it. Okay? If somebody starts picking up that you're doing all the questioning and they're doing all the answering, they may turn around and say, "Oh, what about you?" And that's fine. You can answer. Briefly or in depth, that's up to you. But you can also start with another line of questioning as well. So, okay. Under this topic of engaging, dare to go forward despite your fear of failure. Wow. Fear of failure is something that stops a lot of us from living our lives, from living fully. And you know, I think we learn the most from failure. Name a scientist who didn't fail at something. So I've said before, feel the fear and do it anyway. I heard that somewhere. I didn't come up with that. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I used to skydive a lot. And my attitude was, it's scarier than heck. But that guy just landed. That guy just landed. Nobody died on the day I was going to do it. I figured, okay, it seems safe enough. And I did it. And that first jump, which was with a tandem instructor, was amazing. Scary, scary, scary. But I remember thinking, feel the fear and do it anyway. And I did it, and it was exhilarating, and I did it again, and I got addicted to the adrenaline. And it was a fun time in my life, that skydiving. I learned a lot about myself and conquering my fears. Or, I shouldn't say conquering, feeling the fear, acknowledging the fear, but going ahead and doing it. Okay. Dare to be creative. I love that. Dare to be creative. What creative knack have you wanted to express? So many of you have sent me things that are so artistically wonderful, and you are so talented, and I really appreciate those talents. And you stepped out at some point and tried. You've tried. You picked up a pencil. You picked up, a paintbrush. You sat down at a typewriter or a laptop. Typewriter. Do you guys know what a typewriter is? And you started expressing yourself. So you sat down and tried. You were willing to just go for it and develop your skill, your talent. And I applaud you for that. I love this. And it's right in line. Dare to try again. Just because something failed, something didn't work, because you fell on your face, try again. Sometimes love doesn't work out, our love interest. It doesn't mean it was a failure because you learned and you grew. But don't be afraid to love again. Don't be afraid to pick up a pencil and try another piece of artwork. Don't be afraid to try writing another poem, cooking another batch of biscuits, whatever that is. Don't be afraid to try again. Dare to hold fast to your dreams, no matter what. I think as we come into the new year, sitting down with yourself and writing down some of what your dreams are, some of your hidden dreams. What are those? What have you always wanted to do? What's on your bucket list? You don't have to know the means to the end. You don't have to know the how. Just write down in absolute flow, stream of consciousness. Just let it flow out all over the page what your dreams are. You may start writing things that you didn't even know were up here. There's magic in that. Oh, I love this. Position yourself for success. Now remember, this was business oriented. So, in our personal lives, how can we position ourselves for success? It could be something as picking out our outfit for the next day, cleaning up our spaces, being organized, getting a planner. Prepare yourself and expect success. Everything starts up here. Everything in our lives started here, between our ears, in terms of what we create for ourselves. So, position yourself for success. Do the things, take the steps, even the small steps, toward those things that you consider success for you. Okay, here's another one. I love this one. Dare to play with the big guys. Dare to play with the big guys. Dare to stand up. Have you ever been around people at a job, at work, or in a group of people, PTA people? And as a matter of fact, that reminds me of when I was PTA president in the kids' high school. Parenting tip. It was a great way to spy on the kids. The PTA president is always around, and kids talk so freely. They don't even see you. So I learned a lot of things spying on them as PTA president. Anyway, I remember when I took on that role, I think I started off in something more social. I can't remember what it was. And I never thought I'd be president. And I felt intimidated by others in the room that knew so much more than me. They knew names and laws and rules and Robert's Rules of Order, in a meeting. I didn't know any of that. But I dared to stand up and play with the big guys. Now, PTA is PTA. It's not like we're ruling the world, but in a sense we are, because it's the next generation of kids, and that is our world, my world. So, don't be afraid to stand up and play with the big guys. You may not know everything someone else knows or what the expert knows, but you are you. Go back to asking questions, engaging. You're just as worthy, and you have as much value as the expert, as the big guy, as the big gun. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Dare to speak up Dare to stand out. Dare to embrace what makes you different. Dare to go after big clients despite the competition. Again, if you're working and you're in a job like a sales job, that could apply. Find a way to apply something like that to your personal life if you're not in that kind of a working position. Dare to see your unique value. Oh, dare to stand up and be counted. I love these. I just love these. So, I have in all caps, fit in or stand out. It's human nature to want to fit in, but it's also human nature to choose what stands out. Tell me, if you would, in the comments, something that stands out about you, something positive. It's okay. You can share that with me. And if you don't, that's okay too. But tell yourself, here's how I stand out. Here's how I make a difference. I'm glad I didn't throw these notes away. They have meaning. They had meaning for me then, and they've got meaning for me now. And I hope there's something in there that can have meaning for you as well. Dare to stand up. Be okay with who you are. And know you have value. Absolutely you do. So, I'm going to sign off with that and wish you well. Thank you again to Pillow for sponsoring my channel. I appreciate sponsors like you who get what it is I do and what we are all looking for in the ASMR world. I bid you peace. I bid you wellness. I bid you the willingness to stand up and be different and be you and be proud of that. You are unique. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.